is Ben Morganwood, left-hand side of the road, as he did in the first race. He'll not want to go to the middle of the road, which had him disqualified in January and since reinstated. So Ben is going to dictate the pace as they come towards us. The lights are green. You can just hear screaming motors and popping and squeaking turbos. They go down through the total curves. The C and D class cars are falling at a great rate. A little bit wide as he went up there, the Mazda. And Robbie Smith is right in that pack as well. There he is, Robbie Smith in number 6, but Sorrel is up in the front. Sorrel has got there. Past a few cars, he already got past Robbie Smith, and coming towards us is the Mazda of Ben Morganwood. Then it's Terry Moss has got to second. Sorrel is into third already. Good challenging Moss. This is Sorrel at his best. It's also Terry Moss at his best. He's going to lose it again. Wobbly as it came down there, lost a bit of pace. And Aberdeen just looking on. So hoping to pick up a place as he might do now as he comes out of the Goodyear Clubhouse corner and goes down to the S's. No, Sorrel's hanging on to place 3. So from 5th, he's already gone to 3rd. And more than anything else, he wants to beat that Morganwood Sassel Mazda that's just breaking now for Wesbank. Here they are on the show. Terry Moss is in the 2nd spot. Then it's Chris Aberdeen protecting his line in 2. Sorrel van der Merwe. Robbie Smith's close right up, and he's challenging as well. As he comes through, there's Barash going better. As they tear down the hill, these cars capable of 300 kilometers an hour. They're very, very quick indeed. Robbie Smith, very good driving performance here this afternoon at Kyalami. Circuit has been packed out all day. The racing has been electric, and it's been led by these cars. Right, as they go through the Goodyear sweep, it's Terry Moss at number 1. Sorrel trying to take the initiative and go through the inside. I think he might have just touched him. Got a wobbly there, recovered, and looking for a place to pass was Aberdeen, but Sorrel quick back onto the pedal and starts to motor away from him. Here's Morganwood, red nose in the front of the car, and Terry Moss, and then it's Aberdeen. Sorrel van der Merwe making him play, and there he is, and Robbie Smith. Those are mighty machines up front. Here's the hyperspace car of Barash, just coming through. He comes from King Williamstown. It's the ex-Sorrel van der Merwe car, and somebody's starting to pull dirt on the road. That's not good for their tyres. They've got a mixture of Dunlops and Goodyears on here. Somebody's pulling out. It's Terry Moss is pulling out the race. He's slowing that. The turbo is just spitting out flames and not going anywhere at the moment. And Terry Moss's race is run. Has he got a tyres? Let's have a look. It doesn't think the tyres are gone at all. No, tyres look right. I think he's just had a bit of engine problems. And Terry Moss is going to pick up 0 points for his efforts in this race. So he'll have to go and park at the side of the road. He's going to do now. So we've got Morganwood, Aberdeen, same order as the first race, but Van der Merwe's in 3rd spot. Here they are. Aberdeen comes through in 2nd. He looks in his mirror, and that's the man he sees. Sorrel van der Merwe, winner of both races down at East London. This car's absolutely sound magnificent. It's a big sound, throaty sound of a V8 to Sorrel's. I'll pick it up a little bit later as they come closer to us. Here it comes. Just listen to the power going on. Floors it down, and that's 6 litres of V8 Mustang, very trick motor in that one. America, that car won the IMSA Championship last year. It motors along, there's no doubt about it. There's a lot of power here against the turbos, because they're not as affected as much up here at altitude as are the normally aspirated motor cars like Sorrel's. Robbie Smith's very neat drive. He's staying with them, whether he's got experience in this racing or not. He's right in there with the wheel comes. It's the ex-Van der Merwe car, Cosworth motor, turbocharged. Those in the world. But he's a little bit twitchy as he comes through. Doesn't like that dirt around that corner, I'm sure. That netting there is alongside him is a left-hand drive motor car. As we look at Steve Wyndham now, he's in the little the Automark car. That was going to be his competition. I was just about to say. Then George Bezaden at that whiteness in centre moves into 2nd spot. Not much chance of catching those Toyotas. He needs a bit of equipment to make it go fast, and that to wit is a gearbox. Right, so there he is. That's the Automark car. Fire extinguisher from the marshals, and Dave Repsol race is run, and Wyndham's on his own. But there's George Bezaden, not too far behind him. He's lying just on 2.3 seconds behind him at the moment. Wyndham got into this car when Anthony Taylor was injured. Said that before this afternoon. He's really given a competent performance. There's the old Van der Merwe car, the ex-Van der Merwe car, Barash. Certainly got his own colour scheme. And Peter Lindenberg, that's the Gestetner V8 Lindenberg's car. He set up a new lap record in the last race, and he's leading Class B. One could see electing not to drive in the Gearmax Skyline. He feels he's totally outclassed by these new V8s. Lindenberg, the South African Formula 1 powerboat champion, is just loving that motor car. Built by Willie Hepburn, he just floors it down. It's quite a trick motor, that one. Those are big NASCAR engines they got in there. It's a wonderful sound you hear over Kyalami, these big V8s. Very much at ease. He won in East London, both races, set up a new lap record. He's won here as we go back to the front. And everything's holding forth, but guess who's getting a lot closer? There's 0.7 of a second. Moss is now retired. As we look at them coming through the traffic, on the left there we've got Dangerous Don Brains coming through. And here is coming in that yellow Cormorant's car as they just floor it past them. And Sorrel now is starting to close Aberdeen. He can four-wheel drift those cars, can Aberdeen. Very, very neat. From the front, he just set off on his own. Very fast round the circuit is Chris Aberdeen. So the order after 3 laps. 8 laps in total to do. Ben Morgan in the Cecil Mazda. Chris Aberdeen in the Rothmans Audi. Sorrel van der Merwe just 0.7 of a second behind him as they go around the outside of Steve Colity from Velcom in the little Uno. Then we've got Robbie Smith. Very good performance. Ivor Rash is there. Peter Lindenberg setting up lap records in Class B. Wyndham leading Class C. There's a new lap record. And that has been set up by Sorrel van der Merwe, 1:37.696. By Sorrel van der Merwe, 1:37.696. Well, that's incredible. It was 1:38.7. It's summertime. They shouldn't be doing these times. So he's broken the lap record by just on 1.1 seconds as van der Merwe. There he is. That netting on the side of the car, by the way, as I was going to tell you, that's to stop his arm falling out or debris being any debris around the track getting into his cockpit. So anything happens to the car, watch your arms don't fly out of the car. Somebody took to the dirt there, and I think it's Aberdeen. As they come up in the traffic, this can always change the race. This is always changing. 84 going through there, Sean Blow, very confident driver. This little 1400, which incidentally lap faster than any of the standard Group N cars, so they're not slow. But against these huge machines in the front, and he's got Aberdeen and Sorrel. Just as easy as that. He came along, timed it to a nicety, and has just powered it past Aberdeen. Now, the problem is, we've got a different customer in front of him now in car number 3, and that's Ben Morgan from Ranford. Van der Merwe's from P. Aberdeen's from, originally from Natal, now in Transvaal. In the 3rd position. Nothing between these 3 motor cars. The lap times are so close. There's the lap record holder starting to tear up the hill. Bit of smoke out of Ben's car. Only 7 4-rotor engines built in the world. I think Ben's got 3 of them. They won Lamar, did these Mazda motors. And they've had this car built in the States. It screams around. Never's on a roll. He's got onto the tail there of the slower cars. He just loves that car to solve. Big V8 power. And we're going to hear more and more of those that come into Class B. And look at the black lines from Morgan Rudy. Powered it round there like a dragster. Floored it, and it was just black lines from those Dunlop tyres all the way to Gestetner corner. Here he comes. He knows he has got a real challenge on his hand. Lap 5 is now complete. Van der Merwe's 1.5 seconds behind him. 0.9 of a second behind him is Aberdeen. So Morgan Rood's got a cushion of 1.5 seconds, and Van der Merwe a 1:37.696. It's 1:37.6. Can do it before the end of this race. We've completed 5 laps. We've got 6, 7, and 8 to go. And Van der Merwe's on a charge, and he's being chased there by Chris Aberdeen as they come past the Steve. You know, that looks like it's Charles Wilkins' car. Oh, that was dirt on the circuit. No, I thought it was a puff of smoke out of his car. But that V8 is so big and reliable. It's got mighty horsepower. They talk of 740 horsepower at the coast. Morgan Rood hasn't got quite as much. The Audi's maybe not quite as much. He loses a bit, does Van der Merwe up at this altitude. They raced in America, and with very little sorting out, they went down to the Middelval circuit. A couple of laps around, they decided, I'm going to use this in East London, took it out and just cleaned up down East London. Mind you, Morgan Rood gave him a full go down East London. 2 Sassel cars in the front now, and Sassel, incidentally, with the SA Guild of Motoring Journalists, are going to award 500 Rand and a trophy today for the driver that shows the most sportsmanship. So they'll decide that from all the various categories held here today. Nice worthwhile prize to end up at the end of the day. There's an Audi being driven to its limit. As much this time, Van der Merwe's taking a short line. 1.52 seconds as they came through the last lap. As they come through now, there's Steve Wyndham leading Class C, but I mean leading it in the sprinter. It's 0.9 of a second between Morgenrud and Van der Merwe. He's come down by 0.6 of a second. We might expect, it's one thing to catch him, it's another one to get him past. We could expect another win in this race. Morgenrud won the first one. Let's have a look. There's Steve Wyndham, deputising, as we say, for Taylor. Here they come towards us. Aberdeen still thereabouts. If these two touch, Aberdeen's going to be through. Always quick at Kyalami. The International Turbo Cup race here at Kyalami many years ago, a couple of years ago, did Chris Aberdeen. Back to the East London days and that magnificent circuit down there on the coast. And here he is closing. And he's trying to make his plans. Does he outbreak him? He tried to outbreak him earlier. You remember in the first race? And he came short, he went wide onto the kitty sand. Is he going to do it this time? No, line astern. Morgenrud's getting twitchy now. Oh, lost a lot of ground there. Had to gather his thoughts and his motor car. Be able to accelerate away. Here comes some more slow cars ahead. It's George Bezuidenhout. And they come down the hill, and there's no 0.6 of a second or 0.9 of a second now. This is it. Van der Merwe is looking for a way through. From fifth spot on the grid. He's lining him up. Has he got the power? And is he going to take him at the end of lap 6? This is going to be the end of lap 7. We'll be going into the last lap now. Flames from the full rotomotive that Mazda really screams around here. Here they come. It's 0.9 of a second. I have to tell now they're right on each other's tail. It's now 0.3. We can almost calculate that as he goes down. This is his last chance, Van der Merwe. Now we're on the last lap. Slow traffic a little bit ahead. The order is Morgenrud and Van der Merwe. You see them there. Aberdeen is just 2.4 seconds behind. Then it's Robbie Smith. He's 13 seconds behind. And Lindenberg's leading Class B. Wyndham, you've seen him leading Bezuidenhout in Class C. And Class D's Wilkins, Skeepers, and Patrick said that new Jackson's Opel Cadet from Queenstown. And here's the big battle going on here. Is he going to be able to do this? He's got 3 or 4 corners to go. He's got the S's, and he'll really have to power it on. He says that Ben Morgan has been sandbagging or just holding back a wee bit. I don't think so. This is now a real race to the finish. They might be both in the Sassel team, but there's no love lost as they come on. Steve Colity from Velcom. Van der Merwe is trying a new line. He wants to power it down that corner around Wesbank, going a wee bit wide. He wants to go down the inside. Does he? Can he? Morgenrud's holding him off. Here he is. He's going to pull out on him. He's got big V8 6-litre power in his bonnet. He's trying everything he knows. Morgenrud is 2, and Van der Merwe has got 1, 2, 3 corners to go. Here's 1. He hasn't made it, but he's on his tail. And he spun it. That's it. Goodbye, the win. He's going to get a second spot. Look at that for driving. And Aberdeen goes through. Van der Merwe gets a 5th and a 3rd for the day. And that's going to be it. Morgenrud is going through to win it. Saul Van der Merwe has made 2 mistakes today, and they've dropped him down the points. So from winning those 2 races, East London, he's now got to settle for a 5th and a 3rd. As Morgenrud comes through, a double win for the day. This Randfontein businessman, panel-beating business, is very, very happy. There's Chris Aberdeen, happy in the Rothmans Audi number 2, and Saul Van der Merwe must be kicking himself there for that mistake. He powered it on too early. Here it is again. You can see it's starting to get away. He's turning the wheel in. The back's going to come around, and he sees Morgenrud go around down the road. But look, he keeps it spinning, gets it back into first gear, locks the brakes. There goes Aberdeen just past and just powers it away. But he's only got in the 3rd position out of that. So it's Morgenrud in the Sassel Mazda, Aberdeen Rothmans Audi, Saul Van der Merwe in the Sassel Ford Mustang. Then we've got Robbie Smith in the Sassel Ford Telstar. Lindenberg wins Class B, Wyndham Class C ahead of Bezuidenhout, and Wilkin a long way ahead in the Toyota ahead of Skeepers in his Golf, and Patrick said in the Opel Cadet from Queenstown.